everyone, and welcome to Moody Talk number 3 on interpersonal effectiveness. This week, we are focusing on relationships, okay? Relationships in conflict. And what I mean by that is keeping a relationship that you want to keep and keeping it healthy. And, being in this relationship so that both of you feel comfortable and feel as though you're getting what you want, the objective. So last week we did talk about objective, getting what you want. And we used the term Dear Man. And that was an acronym to talk about, each letter has a word to it that helps you to remember the skills you need to use to work on the objective, what you want, or in this case, keeping a relationship safe and effective and in good health, right? So this week is give, and so it says guidelines for relationship effectiveness, keeping the relationship give. So these words, so GIVE, each letter is a word. So G is for be gentle. Then we have act interested, validate, and use an easy manner. In an easy manner, we're talking about not being strong-willed, not puffing up, getting into a person's face. Be easygoing, laid back. Let's just talk this through. We don't have to bring a lot of emotion into this. We both know what we want, and we're going to figure this out. Okay? So let's get into it. Be gentle. Be nice and respectful. No attacks. No verbal or physical attacks, of course. No hitting. Oh my goodness. Or clenching fists. No harassment of any kind. Express anger directly with words instead of with, your body. So it's not feeling as if that person is being attacked, right? We're not going to attack the other person. We're going to talk about, okay, I'm feeling very angry about this, but you don't have to show them in your body and in your voice and your senses. You can just say, you know what, I'm angry and we need to talk about this, okay? No threats. We talked about that. No judging. No moralizing. No, if you were a good person, you would. That's one of the key things. We're not going to attack the person. In most of our communications, we want to talk about how we feel and what we want. We don't have to tell the person, you'd be better. You'd be a better person if you just did this. Because that's just demoralizing, right? You can't say that to someone. It's very toxic to tell them that they'd be a better person if they did something other than what they're doing. Okay? We don't want to get in toxicity. No sneering, no smirking, eye rolling, sucking teeth, no cutting off or walking away, no saying that's stupid or don't be sad or I don't care what you want. Right? We need to bring this back into a easy manner, and we'll talk more about that. Okay, so act interested, I. Listen and appear interested in the other person. Listen to the other person's point of view. Face the person. Maintain eye contact. Lean toward the person rather than away. Don't interrupt or talk over the person, right? Be sensitive to the person's wish to have the discussion at a later date. That's very important too. If you can't handle this and the emotions are just taking over and you feel like you need to let them out physically in some way, you can always say, we need to table this. We need to come back to this when I'm not having a hard time with my emotions right now. Okay, and the other person can do that as well, and you need to accept that because that's being an adult. That's being in an adult conversation, being able to listen to the person and say, okay, I hear you. We can't do this right now. Let's talk about when we can do this, because you don't want to just walk away from a conversation and not go back to it. You want to say to the person, okay, you want to table this for now. When can we talk about this again? And not 2 days from now, not a week from now, same day or next day. If that's If that's possible, that's when you should do it. You can't be pushing these things off because that's avoidance. We don't want to avoid conflict. We hate conflict. We don't want to be in conflict, but we can't avoid it. It needs to be talked about, right? That's, again, the adult thing to do, I guess. Sometimes I don't want to do the adult thing, but here we are, right? Okay, V is for validate. With words and actions, show that you understand the other person's feelings and thoughts about the situation. See the world from the other person's point of view, and then say or act on what you see. Okay? We're not mind readers. We don't know what the other person is thinking. We don't know what the other person is feeling, but we can observe and we can let them know that we understand where they're at, especially if they're able to give you a description of how they're feeling and what is going on with them, right? We need them to understand us and validate us, but we also have to validate them. And I think that's one of the most important parts about give. Validation is what we're all seeking, right? We all want to feel validated that what we're feeling and what we're thinking is okay, and that other person understands this. So validation, I think, is the key term for give. Okay, and then E. And here I said earlier, use an easy manner. You're not going to get into someone's face. I mean, like, act interested said lean forward and listen to them, but leaning forward and listening to someone, it looks like this, not like this, right? We want them to feel like they're not being attacked. And like, just as we don't want to feel like we're going to be attacked, we want others to feel like we're not attacking them. And it can be really easy to fall into that attack mode, especially when anger is involved. Maybe sadness, you're going to pull back, you're going to talk a little softer. You're not going to be using a strong, powerful communication with someone. But when anger is involved, we really need to pull ourselves back and say, okay, I can't threaten this person. I can't make this person feel like I'm going to jump at them or attack them verbally. Okay? Smile. This can be really hard, but I have learned over the years that this is truly effective. You don't have to give a whole like smile like, hey, hi, let's talk about how angry I am and what I want out of this. You can just say, I understand. I really understand, and this is how I'm feeling. Can you understand how I'm feeling? And just keep that smile. It doesn't have to be a big one, but one that just isn't a smirk. It's not a smirk. It's just a light smile. Because when you turn down your lips and you look angry, people are not going to listen to you as well. Okay? Ease the person along. Be lighthearted and sweet talk. I don't know about sweet talk necessarily, but it's more along the lines of that light talk, that, breath, maybe a little more breathy than, the feeling the sound you get out of the anger talk. It can be a little less, it can be a little lightened, okay? Use a soft sell over a hard sell, and leave your attitude at the door, right? I think this is where a lot of conflicts happen and they get overblown and people really feel uncomfortable with it. And this is why we hate conflict, because we get an attitude. It's just a normal human thing. We have an attitude about it. I'm right and I'm getting what I want. When you give that attitude, when you push that attitude towards someone, they are going to double back and they're going to come back at you with their own attitude. And that's where all the clash comes and nothing happens. Nothing is resolved and the conflict stays, grows, and simmers until it blows, right? So that's give. And I think remembering these 4 parts is really important because, being gentle, listening to someone, validating them, using an easy, manner as not to feel as though the other person is being attacked. I think it's hard when you get into this conflict, but if you can step back and remember these 4 words, forgive, you can help move the conflict along quicker and you're able to keep a good relationship with a person. This is what this relationship is about. If you want to keep this relationship, then you need to work for it. And that's what Give is there for, to help you to remember people want respect, they want validation, they want to be listened to, and they don't want to be jumped on. They don't want to be attacked. So, I mean, I feel as though that's how everybody feels about it. You would feel the same way. You wouldn't want to be attacked. You want a validation, and you don't want them to, be yelling, using a lot of hard emotion coming at you. So I hope this helps. And, if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments or DM me, and I can talk more about this. Next week, we're talking about the self-respect aspect of interpersonal effectiveness. This is my favorite part, because I feel like a lot of people kind of give in and do things that they don't necessarily feel is right, or that they didn't want to do. And then they feel badly about themselves. They have this guilt or shame, like, I can't believe I gave in. This next one will help you to communicate in a way where you feel like you are not giving in or giving up on something. Okay? So have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next week.